Good morning, this is Shawn Woodell from Heavenly Soaps and Such. I know it's been a while since I have posted any videos, but I've just been wide open. But today I decided to slow it down and go ahead and record this video for you. I am embroidering 4 bags for a family that's going on a cruise. They're Vera Bradley bags, and this is one that I've done. I'll try to hold it right. There you go. Already, but the bag looks like this. I hope you can see all of that. So this is one I've already done, and so I wanted to kind of just show you how I do them. So I have this bag here, and what I do is I decide where I want to put it. I'm using a fast frame, and it doesn't really matter what size. It depends on, well, it does, but it depends on how big you want the letters to be. I always write on my fast frames. So the opening inside is 5 5/8 this way and 7 1/4 this way. So this is the fast frame that I'm using. You decide which side of the bag you want it on. I'm not going to put it on the side with this little thing. I want to put it on the opposite side. So I'm going to lay the bag down, get it where I can kind of work on it on the inside, and I'm going to turn, this is the top part of the frame because you have the lip and it goes down onto the frame, kind of curves down. I want this part to be down, so I'm going to flip it over. I want this part here, which is the part that's going to attach to my machine, to be accessible. So I don't want to put it up in the bag. I want it to be out so that I can stick it on my machine. I'm using this as my guide as far as lining it up on the bag. You can use this part. It just depends on which part works best for you. I'm just using this part because there are some lines in here that I'm using to help guide me, and I'll show you those. And it would help probably if I turned on a light. Okay. Inside the bag, here is the trim work for the handle. Right here, goes down the bag. I'm using this as my guide for keeping it straight. And what I'm doing is I'm using this bottom line here as my guide on each side. There's one on this side, to make sure that I'm getting it straight. And I'm also using the lines that are running down where the handles are attached to the bag, and I'm using that to make sure I have it centered. And I'm going to try to show you this. Okay, alright, so I'm going to lay the bag down, kind of pull it back, get my frame. Let me see if I can kind of zoom you in a little. Okay, I'm going to turn the frame upside down and keep where I connect to outside of the bag. Put it in here. I figured out the placement. If I use this part, I'm not able to quite place it where I want it, so I'm using this line here on the frame, and I'm going to line it up with the bottom, with the little line over here on the attachments that I showed you. Okay. Now, if you notice, I'm hoping you can see this. Let me zoom in and let you see. You can see the space. See how much space I have from here to here? Not much. But if you look on this side, I have more space. So I'm able to tell that I'm not even. It's not centered. I need to move it over. So I'm going to move it over. Now that is about the same amount of space between the frame and the line that's sewn onto the handle and over here. Now, I also need to check the bottom to make sure it's not a little crooked. So I hold it, check it, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it to be pretty close. Okay, the bottom looks good, so I'm going to hold it with my hand. I don't put any kind of stabilizer or anything on these. Check the top. Now, I look good. So, I'm going to show you what I do use. And I'm just going to take my hand off it carefully. I'm not going to touch it again. I use this little clip thing here, and I'm not sure what this is called, but I got it at my sewing place where I buy my thread and stuff. But you put these little clips in the end, pop them in, and it's reusable. The clips you use over and over. You just put them as many as, it comes with quite a few. You can't fit all of them in there. But and all I need is 5 for this. But you click them in there, and they're sliding back and forth. And what you do is this. I'm going to hold my hand on the frame, pull the bag where the bag is bent over the frame over here on the side. Okay? Hoping you can see that. Bent over. Now, I'm going to pick it up carefully. You don't want it to move now. Hold it everywhere. And I'm going to take the little clip, and the opening end is the end where it comes out. You're going to hold them down. You're going to start moving. You're going to put it on here. Oh, and I'm off the end right here. And you're going to just push it. And it might be hard. And if it doesn't clip the first time, you might need to just get another one. There it is. Now you see how that, then I'm going to hold it still, go up to the top, push it on, and clip it. Now I hope you were able to see that. So I have those 2 clips holding that side. Now I'm going to come to the other side, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hold my hand inside, I'm going to fold the bag over, I'm going to make sure the bag is pulled out from the frame. I'm going to lift it up and clip. Slide to the bottom, clip. Now, one last thing I have been doing is I've been clipping the bottom just to make sure that, so I grab the frame on the bottom, flip it over. You can do 2 clips if you like. I have just been doing 1 clip right in the middle. It's been working great. Clip this, hold it down, put it on there, and then just push. So you're just pushing this, and it puts the clip on there. To pull them off, you just pull them with your fingers. Now, now I am ready. So, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to carefully lift the bag up. Zoom out where you can see me. I can find my button. Oop. Okay, that's as far as I can come out. I'm going to come over to the machine. And this is the Brother Persona, the PRS100. Okay. I already have my machine set up with the frame that is for the fast frames. Connector that you connect the fast frames to, so it's already on there. Machine's on. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully, and you don't want to pull it so hard that you're going to pop your little clips off. So you want to kind of bend this up because you want it to be out of the way of this. So you easily, carefully bend it where it looks like this. Put it on. And it's, okay. Alright, it's on. Twist it, close it. And I'm going to get this out of the way. Carefully and easily put it back up. I'm going to make sure that this is out of the way. This side's out of the way. I'm going to reach my hand underneath to make sure that, and fill up in there to make sure that nothing is up under the sew plate where it's sewing. Nothing's going to get in the way and be sewn together. I'm going to check my clips. Make sure they're pushed on nicely. Okay, they are. Okay, keep this right here out of the way. Now, what I will say is that I don't usually walk off from this because this is a little heavy, and when it starts sewing out here, you'll get some of this, especially if you're trying to go too fast, so I end up just staying with it. I've already got my thread in there that I'm going to use. I'm using orange, and I have a navy blue bobbin because I want to kind of blend in on the inside. I have actually, I'll go home and show you. I have already programmed this, and I have them ready because I was waiting on the other two. She gave me 2 bags, and then she gave me another one, and I went ahead and set it up ahead of time so I would have them ready. And I'm waiting on one more bag because it's 4 sisters, or sister-in-laws and sisters. But I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to B pocket, which is my brother pocket, where I've saved my stuff on my jump drive. And the last 2 things that I saved are the 2 items that I still need to do on bags. I'm going to pull one up. It's already ready. I already have the initials on there, how long I want, how big I want it to be. And then you always need to pay attention to here. This is the part that has to fit in on those measurements I wrote on my fast frame. And they do. I've already checked that. Those are the right measurements, because you don't want your needle to hit your fast frame. So you've got to make sure those are correct. I'm going to click set, and I want to make sure it's in the right location. Okay, I've already have those ready. I'm going to click embroider, and it's gone back to the center, which is not where I want it. And I wrote down the measurements. If you're doing a bunch of bags, write down the measurements so that if you're trying to get them all the same. So mine should be plus 0.55. So I'm going to go up. And you can actually take your finger, and you actually can take your stylus, and I forget. Go up. You're looking at this number here. Up, 54. So then I'm going to go back down. I want it to be 55. Okay. Oop, okay. Now the bottom number should be a minus 13. So I'm going to hit this way and go that way, and you can play with it. You'll see which way it's going. There's a minus 13. Okay, so that's exactly where I want it, and it's going to work fine. You can check it to make sure. I've already checked them, but I'll show you how to check it to make sure it's not going to hit the fast frame, because your persona does not recognize the fast frame. It does not understand the measurements here of how much space it has to work with, because the fast frames really weren't initially made for the persona. It's just a modification. So you can check it by clicking this little needle with a plus sign and a box, and then over here it will. So I'm going to go over to here and see. I can feel my fast frames over. Oh, I'm sorry. I can feel my fast frames over here, but my needle dot, my laser dot's here, so I'm good. I can go up top, middle. Okay. Now I'm right here. I'm going to have to check that because it's not on it, but it's really close. Alright. I'm glad I checked. This one's way off, so we're good. Check the bottom. And the bottom is way off, so we're good. Okay. So I'm going to come down just a little bit. I'm not sure if maybe and the way you do that is, let me show you. The way you would bring it down some is you can use the stylus, which it might jump. It might make it jump. Let me see if I can cut off a light. Yeah, there. So I don't want to use the stylus when you're just trying to use it a little bit. So I'm going to click OK. And then I'm going to go down. And it's going to start moving this down. That should be enough. I'm going to go back to the needle with the plus sign and the square, or the rectangle. And I'm going to go back to the top because the top center was my concern. And then I'm going to go down here and fill it again. Okay. Now make sure that you're going to fill the needle, the little arm that comes out in the middle. So make sure you're not filling the arm. You want to make sure you're filling for the frame. And the frame has a line. There's the frame. So there's the frame, and I'm down here. It's probably a 1/4 of an inch off from the frame. So that's perfect. So I'm ready. I'm going to make sure nothing's binding. I don't want anything to bind. I don't want anything to fall down into this needle plate, into where I'm sewing. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to click lock and go. issue with doing these other than if you're going too fast, it will bounce, and you may get some at the bottom of the center letter. You may get some alignment problems where it was sewing here, but now it's kind of sewing off a little bit because of the jumping. So I just kind of hold my hands for the middle letter. And if you're using the hoops, and even if you're just floating it, you probably wouldn't have those issues because you have the stability of it being held on the right and the left by the main frame. Where this one is just holding it in the center and it's just extending out, and it kind of jumps on the end. So, and you can slow your speed down to modify that. If you know how to slow your speed down, I'll show you real quick. You have to stop it, so I would have to stop the machine, and then right here, this 800, I'm not sure what the S stands for, but it's per minute, 800 stitches, I'm sorry, 800 stitches per minute. You can minus it or plus it. If I'm going to walk away from the machine, I usually minus mine down, subtract it down to 500, and then 800 if I'm going to be standing right at the machine. So that's kind of up to you. Oops, sorry. And you want to make sure that these don't get in the way. So I usually fold them up, and I didn't do this time, but let me show you. I usually take these and put them under here and put them around the back and lay them on the back of the machine so it's out of the way. I didn't do that this time, but I've done that every other time. So you just want to really make sure that it doesn't bounce up there in the way. Okay, and it's looking good. I did the one bag and carried it to the lady, and she was super excited, and she said her sisters and sister-in-laws were going to be so happy. And so she brought me the other 2 bags, but then she had trouble getting up with the other sister or sister-in-law to get the last bag, so I'm going to get it next week and finish it up. But I already have it programmed waiting. So when I take her these, then I'll just pick up the other one. It's a lady at one of the schools that I work at. So, and you can notice I'm just kind of holding my finger here so that it doesn't jump so much. If I let go, it kind of starts jumping some, and probably not really. I probably could let go, but I don't want to have to try to tear these Vera Bradley bags out and mess one of them up, and they maybe can't get them again, or I have to spend a fortune to buy one. So I'm just going to hold my finger here and let it finish what it's doing. And this is the letter D. And I love the things that I can put on the machine and walk away and go be cooking or doing something else while it sews. But like I said, I'm just not willing to risk, because the last bag I did, it toward the bottom right here, it jumped off a little bit, but it wasn't enough that I had to redo it, but I can see it. And so, and she probably won't ever notice it, because it wasn't, like I said, bad. It's just a little bit off from where it should be. And then when I did the other letter, it was actually right here. When I did this other letter, it covered up some of it, so it's like, it's barely noticeable. So I did not rip it out and redo it, but I don't want to risk that on any more of them. So therefore, the last one and the one before that, and this one, I've stood with it the entire time. my finger like this. Keep it from bouncing up and down, up and down. I'm sorry it's been so long since I've made any videos. I'm going to try to get back into making some. And you would think I have more time now to do it, but I've started working part-time, but I'm homeschooling the children, and that kind of takes priority in the mornings. And then I'm working on a chicken coop and still gardening. I'm still getting, it's September 20th, and I'm still getting tomatoes and cucumbers and a couple eggplants out of the garden. Yes, sir. Hold on just a second. Yes, sir. What's wrong? Look here. Mommy's recording. What is it?
I'm going to play here.
You want to play what?
Play here.
You want to play in here? Play outside for a little bit while longer while it's cool, and then y'all can come in. And you have your boots on in the house. Why do you have your boots on in the house? Alright, we're going to tell her to clean up. Y'all go clean up. And then you can come inside and play. Yes. Take your boots off. Okay. Now that's our little boy. He's 4. He'll be 5 in December. He did his homeschool. He's on 4-year-old kindergarten, and he did his homeschool. You want to talk to him? Okay. I'm going to turn y'all over. Hold a minute. Let me see if I can turn him over. Alright, say hi.
Hey.
Tell him what your name is.
Jalen.
And how old are you?
4.
Alright, are you mommy's boy? Alright, love you. Love you.
I want to see you.
You can't see yourself if you move. You can't see you. Alright. Okay, go tell your sister to clean up. Y'all clean up the mess you made and put all the toys away and come on in. Ooh, be careful. Yes, take your boots off and put them up before you come back in the house. Alright, there we go. Sorry about that. Now we're going to move on to the next letter. Now, you can have this set up 2 ways. One way is to have, and I'll show you, kind of try to get up here, is to have it where it's going to do 1 letter and stop, 1 letter and stop, 1 letter and stop. And that's here. If you see all the colors, and it doesn't matter if they're the same color, it's going to do 1 and stop, 1 and stop, and then there were 3. If you go here, took me a while to figure this out. If you go to this little, looks like a blue spool of thread with some little lines, little dots, a little dotted line underneath a line segment. You're going to click on that, and if you notice, these grayed out. Okay, I'll press it again so you can see the difference. This means it's going to stitch this one. When I press go, it's going to stitch this one, and which is this, and then it's going to stop. Then I'm going to have to press go again, and then it'll press the next one, which will be the next letter, and then it's going to stop. If you press the spool, it grays them out. So when I press stop, it's not going to stop. I mean, when I press go again or lock and go, it's not going to stop until it's done with everything. So you can do that so you don't have to keep pressing it and stopping, pressing, like especially if you're walking away from it. The only thing I don't like is I don't like to not monitor it at all, because if it's messed up and you let it continue to go and go and go, then you have a mess. So this is the button here, and I have it set. So now I'm going to click lock and go, which is the arrow. It's going to start immediately, and it's not going to stop until it is finished with the entire thing now. And I'm going to slow it down. Well, no, I was going to say because I'm going to walk off, but I'm not. I'm going to stay here with you. And this is a K. I know you're hearing the machine bumping. Sorry about that. I mean, it's not nothing's wrong with the machine, but it's a little noisy. Whoop, sorry. I adjusted my camera when he came in, and now it's kind of not working too well. Alright. Now I also want to kind of go over some of these. This is, there are 3 colors, the bottom. 3 different colors of thread. Even though I'm using all the same, there are 3 letters so that they thinking it's thinking it's 3 colors. And I'm on the 2nd color, which is the 2nd letter. This one is, it takes 14 minutes to complete the entire sewing process of this pattern. And I think 11 minutes have already, yeah, I'm on the 11th minute. Yes. So it only has a couple of minutes. This is how many stitch, this is your stitch count, the 7,091. And some people charge by the stitch count. I don't. I usually just kind of gauge how big it is, how big the bag is, and how much I'm going to charge for the monogramming. But some people charge by the stitch count. But that's how many stitches there are, and then the top number, the 5,147, 54 is what stitch it's actually on now. Okay. This is the size, how tall the this design is I'm making. It's 3.81, 3 and 81 hundredths of an inch if you want to be exact. And the bottom is 5 inches, a little over 5 inches. It's 5 and 19 hundredths of an inch. Okay, so now this is what it's telling me the hoop that I need. But since I'm using the fast frame, that doesn't matter because I'm not using the hoop. You just have to make sure the fast frame is the right size. Yes, Kayla. Yes. Can you talk one more time? Yeah, do you want to talk one more time? Alright, hold on just a second. Come around this side. She's coming that way. She wants to talk too, I guess. Alright, one more time. Okay, wait a minute, let me show them this. Alright, it's finishing that wrong letter. Now it's moving straight over to do the other letter. So it did not stop, and if you notice, it changed from having 2 colors here to now it's just 1 left. Not 2 different colors, but 2 color slots, to now it's just 1 left. Alright, they want to speak to you. We have both of them here. They're coming in.
Oops. Mama, how can you see them?
Say hey.
Hey.
You can't see them. They'll see you though. Say hey.
Hey.
Alright, go play. Let mommy finish. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Oof.
Bye-bye.
You better be careful. Don't get hurt. Okay? Alright, y'all go in your bedroom and play. His bedroom or yours. Whatever he says. Alright, I'm going to hold it a little bit. It's jumping. Which is not really... Alright. It's not really jumping a lot. And if I were going to walk off, I would slow it down about like that. Which would be the 400. Some people don't do that. That's fine. If you say, well, I don't slow mine down, that's fine. It's just a personal preference. And you'll find with embroidery, there are a lot of things that one person may do that you don't do it that way. And if there's no real like correct way, you don't have to leave it on 800, but you can slow it down to 400 if you prefer. Or 500, just depends. I'm going to speed it back up to 800 and hold my finger here. And some people would say, oh, you don't need to hold your finger. And you may not. This bag is a little heavy. And I really don't think I need to on the last letter, but I'm having to stand here with to make the video anyway. So, okay, now, check bobbin. Check upper or honor. I need you quiet, baby. I'm recording. Yes. But I still need you quiet, okay? Okay. Sorry. Check upper and bobbin thread. It hasn't popped the thread, so I can come right here with my finger and see that the thread's still attached. So that means that I must be out of bobbin thread. So what I do is I'm not going to take this off the machine. I'm going to lift the bag up a little, get my hand up underneath it, open the bobbin door, pull out the thread, and you see it is empty. So I don't have any more navy thread ready, so we're going to have to do something. I'm going to put put you up here. Okay, I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to take this one off, put it away. This is what I use for my bobbin thread. So this is, I can't remember what kind of thread they call this, but I buy it at Walmart. So this is what I use. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to go ahead and cut my needle. Let me show you what I did, what I'm doing. I pressed close, and then I'm going to press lock and cut. And it cut the thread for me. So now it's cut, because I am going to have to take it off to do my bobbin. So I pull it through like this and just wrap it back up and leave it right up here like this, because I'm fixing to use it again. And I'm going to find the end to this one. And I try not to let this happen. I try to go ahead and have more ready, but I come through. Make sure you can see me. You can't. Okay. Alright, so I go through number one. They're numbered for you. And if this is not the way you thread it, that's okay. I have people say, well, that's not the way I did. That's not the way the book says. Well, this is the way I do it. If I'm not sure if this is the way the book says or not, but I go through number one, through number two, around the back little thing. Show you that. This little thing here. Wrap around it. And it shows you here the little picture of how to do it. Come back up through number 4. Okay. Pull it down. Now I'm going to back out a little bit. Then you're going to come straight from 4 down to here. And you're going to wrap it. And close it. And when you close it, this pops up on your screen. You're going to click start. Make sure that it actually started. It did. See it jumping? And then you're going to let it spin until it's done. Okay, it's still spinning, still filling. If you know you're not going to need a whole bobbin, you don't have to fill up the whole thing. But I usually fill up the whole thing while you're doing it. You just will do it. And then I keep different bobbins in a drawer and for different colors when I need them. Okay, now this thing up here, right here, will cut it for you. So I take it off, bring it up here, throw it up in there, and it cuts it. Now, you have 2 threads here. This is the actual bobbin thread. This is the one where I started it. So what I do is I just take my scissors and and clip it off. It doesn't have to be real close. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it has to be close, but not. Now I'm ready. I'm going to take my bobbin. Let me bring it back down so I don't have to hold it up. I'm going to take the bobbin and hold it upside down so you can see. You want to get where this little opening is. You don't want to go you want to go against it, so that's hard to, you want to put it in clockwise. So when you put it in, the thread, if you're wrapping it, will come clockwise. I don't really know how to explain that the best way, but then you're going to bring it around, put it in there, hoop it down in the hole. I always pull it out a little bit to make sure it's not in a bind. You don't have to do that, I guess. But sometimes I'll put it in and it is in a bind and I have to take it back out. So I leave about that much hanging off. And then I'm going to reach back under. And it goes in the machine like this with this little arm onto the right. So I hold it in my hand just like this. Reach up in there. Find the hole again. There you go. Clip it in there. Now, if you want to hear it pop in, pop, you pop, and then close the door. Now, if you can't put it on with this, you can take this off. I just don't like to take it off unless I have to, and sometimes I do have to. All right, now I've got to rethread the machine. So I'm gonna just lay that up there. I just leave it right up there on the top, the thread for the bobbin, because I may use that again at some point, but I just leave it there. I don't worry about it. Here is the thread. It's still through number 1 up top. I'm gonna put it through, oh, I lost it, okay. I'm gonna put it through number 2. Then I'm gonna take it and just pull it under number 3. I'm going to wrap it clockwise 1 time, come under that little flap, down, around the bottom, back up, get me enough that I can feed it through the little hole. And when I'm not on the camera, I don't really seem to have a trouble with it, but put it through the eye, come back down, get enough thread that you're going to be able to feed it through the bottom. Put it through the hole, grab it at the bottom. Make sure that this thread here goes back into the right slot. Okay. Then I'm going to grab it like this, put it over that little wire loop, and then let go. I'll take and give myself a clean snip. And I don't have a clean snip because it's not wanting to go in, so I'll do it again. Sometimes I have to do it a couple times. Okay, it's a clean snip. I reach to the back, grab, and sometimes if I'm having difficulty, I'll use the tweezers, but normally I don't have difficulty with it. So, okay, so then I pull it. If you noticed me pulling the thread from up here until I get the amount that I want down here. And I usually end up with about that much. It's probably 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches, I'm not sure. Okay, all right, now I'm ready to start back. I'm gonna back up because I'm scared that I might have missed some stitches when it broke. The way you do that is you click on this needle minus and plus sign. I'm gonna back up 10 stitches, so minus 10. The machine moved back 10, and I always look at the laser and see where it is. It looks like it's right on a place that might be missing one. I'm gonna back up 10 more. It's kind of up to you. But now when I look at it, let me show you. Where's it at? Right here. It's right here. The laser is up here. And so you just a little bit, and it's going to start stitching again so that I make sure that it looks right. Okay, now I'm going to click, and I'm sorry, but I'm trying to show you everything because I've had people say that they enjoy me showing the panel and what I'm doing. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to click lock and go. And then I'll show you again. It started right back where it left off. And I always hate when the bobbin comes out because then you have to stop and it just slows the whole process down. But I'll have bobbin ready for when I do the next thing. And I will show you what I do is I buy extra bobbins. And I'm sure people do this, but I'm going to show you the drawer. I buy extra bobbins and I just keep them in this tray here. And I have different colors, and I have some more bobbins that don't have anything in them, like this is a black. But I have black, yellow, brown, pink, purple, white, different teal, blue, there's another white. Well, actually that is the white. There's a gray, a brown, and then a navy blue. I just keep bobbing of, here's another white. The bobbins that I need so that I have different colors, and you don't have to do that. A lot of people don't. They just do white on the back of everything. I'm I guess I'm OCD. I just really want it to blend in more with the fabric versus just being white on a blue fabric or something that doesn't have a lot of white on it. That's totally preference. So that's up to you. You can use white for everything. You can use black for everything. It's just kind of up to you what you use that for. And then if you have some type of a small tension problem with your bobbin, it won't show through a different color either, like white or black showing through. All right, I'm done. It says that you are finished. I'm gonna click OK. Now I'm going to take it off and show you. Let me back out a little bit. Okay. Simple as taking it off is a matter of carefully pulling this back till you can see the black knob right there. Twist it. Twist it loose enough that you can lift it up. Okay. Then you lift this up, off, just making sure that you don't catch your bag on the needle because you don't want to snag the bag. Pops off just like this. Oh, had it in the drawer. Just like this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop off, make sure you can see me, pop off this, and you just pull it straight. Don't, you know, and be easy, but it's not going to rip the bag, but I always want to make sure that I don't nick something or grab a thread. So I just pull it off carefully. It comes right off. Pull the bottom off. This off. This off. And you can put these right back in your little clipper thing. Just put them right back in, or you can just store them in the drawer. Mine usually end up staying on the table until I need them. Then you just pull this off. It's nothing holding it now, so it just pops right off. And my thing does have a little sticky on it. It doesn't interfere with that. But you're done. So there is the bag embroidered. KDH. It's nice and straight. You can look on the inside. This is what the inside looks like. Looks like that. It's got the orange and then the little bit of blue mixed in with the orange gives it a different shade of blue, but just like that. Okay. So I'm done. So this is another bag finished. I will get it back to her actually next week when I return to work on Monday. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. If you have questions, comments, please let me know. Be kind. If you have comments or things that I could do to make it easier, that's fine. Just let me know. And thanks for watching. Sorry it has been so long since I made a video. I will try to do videos again soon. My next project is going to be, I think, is going to be to monogram this cooler. So this is a squishy cooler. Got it from Sam's. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to monogram the name right here, or either the 3 initials. I was thinking about doing the top, but I don't really think I want to go into the cooler on the top part. It's a little thick. This is thick, but not as thick. And then I feel like this is the main part of the cooler, so that you won't have something with letting the cold air out. And so I may just do it here. But that's going to be my next project. So this is Shawn Woodell from Heavenly Soaps and Such. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.